Nobody inside the building said it out loud, but everybody felt it. Something was breaking. Not slowly, not quietly, all at once. Phones buzzing, emails stacking, executives refreshing numbers like their job.
Nobody inside the building said it out loud, but everyone felt it. Something was breaking. Not slowly, not quietly, all at once. Phones buzzing, emails piling up, executives refreshing numbers like their careers depended on it. Overnight, the story had flipped. And the wildest part? Nobody in the league caused it. One player did, Caitlin Clark. Just a few months ago, she was supposed to be the future, the nice marketing piece, the ratings boost, the rookie you carefully build around. Slow, controlled, safe. But Clark doesn't move slow. And that's where everything unraveled. While the league fussed over bargaining meetings, contracts, and paperwork leaks, something far bigger was happening beyond their reach. NBC called, not for a cameo, not for a cute segment, but for prime time, for the NBA stage, for millions of eyes. And just like that, she stepped onto national television, not as a guest, but as the main attraction. The broadcast started normal, highlights, laughing analysts, standard chatter. Then the host casually said her name, joining us tonight, Caitlin Clark. Simple. Harmless. Except it wasn't. The second the camera cut to her, the energy shifted. She wasn't excited, stunned, or grateful. She was calm, poised, as if the moment had always belonged to her. And then she began breaking down pick-and-roll coverages, calling out defensive mistakes before replays, correcting former NBA players mid-sentence, not asking, correcting, teaching veterans live, in front of millions. Social media exploded instantly. Clips everywhere. Fans asking, wait, why is she this good on TV? Why isn't she on every game? Suddenly, the broadcast wasn't about basketball anymore. It was about her. And that's when the quiet panic began.
It's where you need help with the viewership, fam. Now, it was also announced that the president of NBC Sports ended up saying that he might want Caitlin Clark back more than that March 29th appearance that they already announced. Let's take a look at this, man. According to NBC Sports President Rick Cordella, Clark's performance checked every box the network hoped for. The appearance was not treated as a one-off moment, but rather as a glimpse into where her future in sports media could look like. While Clark remains focused on her playing career, NBC clearly views her as a natural fit in front of the camera and someone worth investing in long-term. Something might be nascent here, man. Hey, I'm just saying. All right, so it says NBC Sports leadership weighs in. Rick Cordella spoke positively about Clark's debut, noting that she did a good job and handled the role with ease. He highlighted her understanding of the game and her ability.
Because inside the Women's National Basketball Association offices, something uncomfortable was happening. Conversations about teams, games, and stats came to a sudden halt. The only topic anyone could whisper or mutter under their breath was Clark. Are you seeing this? Why is she trending over us? How did NBC get her first? No one had answers. While the league was tangled in negotiations and buried in paperwork, NBC Sports moved fast, signed fast, and acted fast. And just like that, Clark had seized the spotlight they didn't even see coming.
In time. They need to continue to keep these lines of communication open if all of them are in it to have a season and to get this CBA done. But I do think it's interesting that she's saying that the Players Association is getting ready for that. They want to have the resources so that the players have somewhere to go, and she kind of alluded to it there. So they're kind of preparing for it if they have to. And they're actually not the only place that is preparing for it. Unrivaled is also a place that is preparing for a strike, and we've heard it from other players. Like we've heard Natasha Cloud say, if there's a strike or there's a lockout in the WNBA, everybody can go and play in Unrivaled. Which brings me to my last point on Unrivaled.
You know, I know a lot of people are kind of like hating about being a part of Unrivaled and also trying to negotiate the WNBA, but it's like, I want two things to both be successful. And literally that's how I'm looking at it. Like, I'm looking at this from a pure business standpoint and how things can be great for everyone. I think that Unrivaled, the only thing that Unrivaled is showing is positive. when you show players on social media or in games or wherever the case may be, people watch.
Right.
So we can't not have that for our summer season in the WNBA.
And this is where a lot of people from the beginning have been calling it a conflict of interest, because it clearly is. And I'm not saying that Breanna Stewart has bad intentions. I don't actually think that she does. But she's saying here, I want two things to both be successful. She cannot come out here and say that she cares about the WNBA more than she cares about
the January 5th season opener and January 26th TNT, True TV windows, did not face such competition. Indeed. Well, this last Friday, they didn't face any competition this last Friday. Folks, that's bad. 103,000 viewers. Down 44%. That's nearly half. Nearly half their viewers dipped off. I being one of them. Rudy being another. I'm sure many of you as well said, I ain't coming back. Many of you probably said, I ain't going either. I'm not coming back, and I'm not going to check it out either. Oof. Let's get into some positive news, shall we? Let's get into something a little bit more positive. Sunday night basketball, milestone for NBA on NBC Sports. Lakers-Knicks, 4.5 million viewers on NBC plus Telemundo, 5 million peak audience. Most watched regular season Sunday night NBA game since 2002, excludes Christmas Day. Sunday night NBA games. Now, a Sunday night NBA, is that ABC included, or the ABC games Saturday night games from back in the day?
And just like that, she stole the spotlight overnight. Then the numbers hit, and that's when it really stung. Segments with Clark? Ratings through the roof. Clips with her face? Millions of views every time she spoke. Engagement? Exploding. Meanwhile, league content stayed flat, normal, quiet. That contrast was brutal. It revealed the harsh truth. Fans weren't following the league, they were following her. And once the audience follows a player instead of the brand loses control. That's when emergency meetings were called. Doors closed, phones face down. At the head of the table sat Kathy Engelberg, watching, listening, numbers glaring from screens. Clark everywhere, except under league control. Someone finally whispered the question everyone feared. What if she doesn't need us anymore? Silence fell. That sentence is every commissioner's nightmare. If the player doesn't need the league has no leverage, no control, no power. That's exactly what it felt like. Not growth, but loss of control. And the problem didn't stop there. While Clark was dominating NBC, another project quietly floundered. Unrivaled, big idea, big promotion, massive expectations, but the crowds were small. Shockingly small. Reports said barely 20,000 viewers, sometimes less. Meanwhile, Clark's NBC debut? Millions. Not thousands. Millions. The comparison was embarrassing. One side begging for attention, the other commanding it effortlessly. And that's when jealousy quietly crept in.
Also made it clear that Clark was well prepared and comfortable in the setting. Something that stood out given the size of the audience and the spotlight that comes with an NBA national broadcast. Spotlight at Madison Square Garden. Clark's analyst role came during a big matchup between the New York Knicks and the Los Angeles Lakers. A game that naturally draws national attention. Madison Square Garden provided a fitting backdrop for her first major NBA television appearance. NBC Sports viewed the setting as an opportunity for Clark to share her perspective without forcing the moment. Her analysis focused on the flow of the game, player tendencies, and situational basketball, keeping the broadcast grounded and accessible. More Clark already on the schedule. NBC is planning to bring Clark back later this season. Cordella confirmed that she is scheduled to appear as an analyst for the Knicks vs. Thunder on March 29th. He also added that he hopes to see more of Clark moving forward, signaling that the door is open for additional appearances. While no expanded role has been formally announced,
because some players felt it too. Imagine grinding for years, pouring sweat and sacrifice into every practice, only to watch one rookie steal the entire spotlight in a single night. It doesn't feel inspiring, it feels personal. Even stars like Paige Buckets weren't spared, being compared to Clark not fairly, but brutally. Why is Clark bigger? Why is NBC calling her first? Why is everyone talking about her? That's how pressure builds, not from hate, but from relentless comparison. And comparison eats away at locker rooms. Then it got worse. Internal documents leaked. CBA talks, financial concerns, behind-the-scenes tensions, all hitting at the worst possible moment. Suddenly, the story wasn't just about Clark dominating. It was about a league looking unstable, contracts messy, viewership shaky, projects underperforming, while on the other side, Clark was breaking records, smiling on NBC, untouchable and completely out of their control.
Clark, the fans could get, and yeah, I mean, I guess I'm here for it. I'm here for it if that's all we're gonna get, but I definitely hope that they end up figuring out this whole CBA thing, man. Now, I did see this yesterday, but I didn't too much care to talk about it, man. It's the same old status quo with the CBA proposal, but somehow it was leaked by Ramona Shelburne. I don't think it was leaked by her. I think ESPN leaked it. She just put it on her Twitter, but it's funny that it says confidential and everybody has it now. But anyway, they was just saying some of the things that the proposal is given, right? Substantially increase player salaries to reflect recent and future business growth, promote business health and profitability, maintain incentives for team and league investment, right? So yeah, basically just saying these are the things we're going to be giving them, and this is what they're denying. Now, this could be a play to, once again, win over the public. I don't know. But it is interesting to see that they have the Supermax salary, their projections here. $250 is what was going on last year. Of course, we heard that it could get up to $1.2 million when they do sign the max. And then they were saying in the next 5 years, it could get up to 1.8 million. Now, they also dropped a higher revenue scenario, which added 5%.
It didn't feel like a rookie story anymore. It felt like revenge, like the league tried to control her, and she just walked around them. She took the biggest stage, commanded the largest audience, and didn't ask permission. That's power. Real power. Real stars don't chase platforms. Platforms chase them. By the end of the week, one truth was undeniable. This wasn't hype, and it wasn't luck. This was a permanent shift. Clark wasn't just a WNBA player anymore. She was a basketball figure, no labels, no limits. Once someone reaches that level, you can't put them back in a box. The league wasn't leading her, they were chasing her, always a step behind. And that's when the fear hit. If NBC could do this once, what happens next? If fans follow her instead of the league, what happens to the organization? If she keeps breaking records outside their system, what power do they have left? No one said it out loud, but everyone knew it. This wasn't just a TV appearance or a highlight reel. It was the night control slipped, the night the system cracked, the night one player quietly became bigger than the machine built to contain her. And the scariest part? She didn't fight, didn't argue, didn't complain. She just showed up and took it all. Their viewers, their spotlight, their attention. And once attention leaves, it rarely returns. While NBC celebrated, fans replayed clips, and her name trended nonstop, league offices sat in silence, knowing one terrifying truth. They didn't lose a game, they didn't lose a contract, they lost control. And once you lose control of your biggest star, you don't run the future anymore. She does.